guys, we're Sean and Justin of Filming It. We are exploring the United States and Canada in our self-converted Ford Econoline van. For our first video, we'd like to give you a quick tour and show you where we've been living for the last month and a half.
Okay, so this is the front seat of Avanti. This is where all the fun happens. Avanti is a 1992 Econoline E150 van. It started off at 165,000 kilometers, and now we've gotten all the way to 175,000 kilometers. We haven't had any issues so far, and it's been great. We've added a battery isolator. This will help to charge the back batteries while driving with the alternator of the vehicle. So we've added a new sound system into Avanti as well. We added two front speakers here that are infinity speakers and a Kenwood stereo to help play things that are not cassettes. This does Bluetooth, plugging it through USB, you can do calls with it. It makes this whole thing just a lot more operational. Finally though, we have our pride and joy, the beautiful, the wonderful birthday gift that I got from my friend Ariad. This is the reverse backup camera. It is a single line that, as you see, goes into the top here. It goes all the way to the back of the van. Right above the license plate, there's a little camera that we've attached there, that we've actually screwed in there. And this will actually send the picture up here. This is a touch screen, and it helps us back into places when I can't actually see back there because there's window covers. But yeah, I think that's about all there is up here at Avanti. Let's go back.
Okay, so here we have the kitchen slash living room area, I guess. It's all in one. This is the thing that I spent the most amount of time building. All of these products that we've used for the build, I've tried to list on our website, which I'll link below. So here we have our Ramblewood stove. It came as a natural gas stove, and then we converted it to be propane because it came with propane fittings. It's been wonderful. We've really loved it. In the month and a half that we've been traveling, we've only used a quarter of our propane tank. So it's been wonderful on gas. It cooks meals really easily. It's not like a camping stove. We were worried that it would burn everything, but it hasn't. It has a super low setting, and it's just been wonderful. So here we have our upper cabinets. In this cabinet we have most of our toiletries, like my hair supplies and makeup. That's pretty much all that's in here. These little baskets that you'll see sort of spread throughout the van are from 10,000 Villages, and they're really adorable, and I love them. Up here we have most of our kitchen stuff. We have our pots, our pots are up here. We have our bowls and flippers and that sort of thing up there. This cabinet was one of the last things that I built, but it has increased our storage a ton. It's actually not connected on the roof, as you can see up here. This cabinet is supported by a support beam that runs along the back, as well as 3 vertical beams that run up the sides and in the middle. And the cabinet's screwed into those support beams, and that's how it's held up. Okay, so down here is our lower kitchen. Here we have our food storage. I'm not going to show you because it's a little messy. Down here we have our fridge, which we love. It's a 50-liter Thematic fridge, and it's built on 200-pound drawer slides, which has been super wonderful, and it's been really easy to access. And then on this side we have, you can't see them, but we have little hooks that hook in for driving. Here is our under-sink storage. In here we have sort of rags, cleaning supplies, just basic cleaning stuff that there's no other place for. It's a pretty small space, but we make it work. Then under here we have our 20-liter gray water tank. This gray water tank is connected to the sink via a hose that has a valve so that smell doesn't come back up through the hose. Our freshwater tank is located underneath the bed, and it's 100 liters. And the gray water tank we empty maybe once or twice a week, and the freshwater tank we fill up once every 2 weeks. The freshwater tank is pumped up to the sink via a foot pump that's down at my feet. It's a whale foot pump, and we love it. You can control the amount of water super easily, and it prevents us from using too much water. So the next thing is our fan. It's a max air fan, and here we have the remote. It's super wonderful. It pulls air in and pushes air out. This curtain allows us to have privacy at night, but it also turns into a movie theater with our projector that we put on the back wall. And then we flatten this out and project movies on here. Welcome to our bedroom. Right now I'm sitting on an Endy mattress, which we love. The bed frame was the only really original thing that we kept from this van. All the kitchen and stuff we tore out. Back here we have our projector, and this little guy is what we project onto the screen when we're watching movies. We hook it up to Sean's laptop through HDMI, and it lasts for about 3 hours. To give ourselves some privacy and a little bit of insulation, we have 2 different types of window covers. The first are these window covers, which I sewed together using blackout fabric, some black fabric, and some magnets, which attach to the windows. The second kind of covering is contact paper, which we just bought at Home Depot and covered the side windows with. This was really important because Sean barely fits in the bed, so his head is rubbing up against this window and his toes are rubbing on this side. So putting the contact paper rather than a fabric gave him a little bit more space. Here I am not only sitting at our dining table, I'm also sitting on our closet. Underneath me is my side of the closet, and underneath here is Sean's side of the closet. We've organized everything into these packing cubes so that everything can come out and be organized very easily. Under here is where our propane is stored. We turn it on and off every meal that we make. So here we have our junk drawer. It holds everything that we don't know what to do with. It's sitting on top of a shelf, which is removable so that the propane tank can easily come in and out whenever we need to fill it up. It's been super handy so far. So as you can see, I'm now in the front seat, which this seat we have turned into a swivel seat so that it gave it a little bit more room and also allowed Sean and I to eat and work across from each other. Right here we have our kitchen table. This is where we store it at nighttime. It goes on to this stand here, which is also a swivel. On the bed frame, we also have an attachment so that the table can act as an extended countertop, or it can be raised up a little bit so that we can sit in bed and work or watch Netflix. Above me, we have a storage area that's mainly used for like pots and pans. We have some board games up there. We have our storage for our grocery bag storage, and we also put extra jackets that we're wearing up there.
The first thing we want to point out on Avanti is its awesome awning. This is an ARB awning that is a nice size. It's not too long and it just pulls out just enough that we'll have cover from rain when we're opening the doors in the day and such. Now let's talk about the garage. The garage is where we keep a lot of our larger items that we don't really have a place for in the front of the van. This includes our climbing gear, our toolboxes in case anything ever goes wrong. We have some more equipment here for the lights and some of the electrical stuff. We also have our winter jackets in case it ever gets really, really cold, as well as our summer clothes in case it ever gets really, really warm. We also have our battery box back here, as well as the water tank. And right above us, we have the beautiful solar panels. And on the back of this door, we've installed a ladder to help get up there to actually wash them. Now let's talk about the electrical inside the van. We have our DC and our AC systems. Our AC systems really are only used to charge our laptops, and we have a smoothie machine that we use sometimes, as well as a rice cooker. And here we have our DC systems, which are used to charge cameras, phones, even our little projector. Anything that has a USB, we plug into here. Because this right here, our DC, is hooked straight to our battery systems. Our battery in the back here, it's just right there, is 2 Trojan T105 batteries. These together have given us enough battery bank to never worry about it, really. We have a couple different ways of charging these. We have actually 3 different ways. 1, we have our solar panels. 2, we have our battery isolator, which is that little button at the front, which runs off the alternator. And 3, we can actually charge the inverter by plugging it into a wall with just a normal outlet. This is our charge controller display. This connects to our charge controller, which is just located under the bed. We're going to look at that in 2 seconds. But this is the actual display that we look at to know, is our battery low? Is it high? Is it charging? How much sun are we getting? How are we doing? Here we have our nice inverter charger display panel. You can turn this on and off with the click of a button here instead of clicking it on the actual inverter, which makes it way easier to just save power by having it on when you need it and off when you don't. So it's not always just running in the background. It has a couple nice little facts like how your battery life is doing, how charged it is, how much it's putting out, and how much it's taking in if you're ever charging the inverter. And that will turn on, once again, our AC plugs right here. And to get a better look at exactly what we're talking about, we're going to lift up our bed. And this is extremely helpful to actually be reaching the electrical components. Instead of crawling under there, trying to crawl under this way, we can just lift up the bed and reach it from above. So now that we've lifted up the bed for a little bit better visibility, we can now see the actual charge controller for our solar panels. This is the 40 amp MPPT charge controller, which has been awesome. We can add another solar panel if we ever want to, and it has just been so insanely efficient. We have this little gray wire here that's been leading all the way over to here, which is where the display is. So instead of having this large box mounted over here, we can have this handy dandy little display which just shows what this guy is actually doing. I'll talk about the AC side of things. We have a Renogy 1000 watt pure sine wave inverter, which is awesome for letting us work with all of our normal household electronics. We can have our smoothie blender, our rice cooker, we can charge laptops from our AC ports right here, which are just directly tied into the inverter. And now let's talk about the DC side of things. We have all of our DC electronics, including the lights, our fan, our fridge, all of our USB ports heading straight to the fuse box, which is on the side of the battery box. All this has been leading up to the two Trojan T105 batteries that we have at the back here. They're in a battery box that we had to actually create to keep the smell in because they are flooded lead acid batteries instead of the normal AGM batteries in van lifers or even the gel batteries. These ones do produce hydrogen, so we had to properly vent them through the floor, and because of this, we've never smelt them. We've never even noticed that they're there. Thank you so much for watching our video, you guys. Please consider commenting, subscribing, and liking the video. It's the first one Justin and I have done on We Are Filming It. We're planning to do a lot more in the future. We have a website coming up. We have an Instagram page you can follow us on as well. We have lots of adventures that we're going to be going through, and we're going to be filming it for you guys, okay? Catch you on the next one.